Hello my friends, it's your pal Berserker Dan, and I want to welcome you to my new art channel. Been a long time in the making, but finally decided to just go for it. I plan to use this as a lighthearted spot to draw whatever zany crap is on my mind. Share fun ideas, projects I'm working on, drawing tips, fan art, movie reviews with art, and other assorted fun ramblings. With this being the first video of the new year, I had planned on making this video closer to New Year's, but boy, life didn't want to make that happen. 2026 looks like it's going to be a rough year. So yeah, here's Baby New Year, part of what I'm referring to as my Monster of the Month. You know, monthly themed monsters, you get it. He's got a healthy, we'll say, mix of Rankin Bass Baby New Year from the 1976 animated special Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Yeah, probably dating myself a bit there. And Janus, the two-headed Roman god that we get the word January from. Yeah, a weird mix, but hey, that's the fun part, right? Gotta give yourself a bit of a challenge. So let's get into it. As always, starting with the sketch, trying to figure out how the two-head, two-face vibe is gonna work here. I'm a big fan of heavy black outlines and some good, heavy, comic-style black shadows. Gives the character some good visual weight and helps him stand out. After that, I do what I refer to as noodling. I'm a huge fan of contour line drawing for a bit of shading, as well as a way to create some form and depth. It's usually the most time-consuming part of the drawing, but it's the most fun part for me as well. It's also where you get the really gnarly details in. The grody skin, the rotten teeth, the snotty nose, messed up pupil, you know, all the good monster stuff. I think this type of drawing is really telling of my early art influences. Those bizarre, cute and grotesque cartoons from my childhood, like Ren and Stimpy and later SpongeBob. I know it's used a little bit more often nowadays, but those quick, over-detailed, over-rendered, gross drawings of usually cute characters just always hit me. As an 80s kid, also growing up with things like Garbage Pail Kids and the glorious world that is 80s monster movies, fun, over-the-top, and gross just always seemed to go hand in hand for me. As a funny and gross artist myself, I'm also hoping to use this channel to help folks who want to learn and understand art. Not just type in a prompt from some AI machine, but to learn, explore their own creativity, and enjoy. I feel like this new AI world strips the joy of discovery and accomplishment out of creativity and art, and diminishes everything down to a disposable end product, a commodity to be used and discarded. Sad for artists, sad for humanity. There's so much you can learn about yourself and who you are with art, no matter what your skill level is. AI has the aesthetic, but without the love, mind, and passion. So please, even if you're new to art, let's hit this road of creativity together. Who knows where it leads? But enough of the serious stuff. Here we are at the color stage. I always start with a separate duplicate layer underneath the ink and detail layers. If folks are interested in a more in-depth explanation of my process, please comment below and I'll make a video. Since he's more of a monster, I of course have to give him the yellow teeth and sickly skin color. I used a separate gray layer at about 20 to 30% opacity for shading, but it just sort of dulled the whole image down. And for this type of piece, that's not really what we're going for. And here's where I transfer the art from Procreate to Photoshop. He's still looking a bit too pale and washed out at this point. In general, and especially in this type of instance, I like to add a higher sepia photo filter layer, 60 to 80%, and a lower yellow photo filter layer, say 30%. Just seems to warm up the whole piece, pop the image, and add some life to it. Also, it unintentionally made his little diaper look just really, really nasty. So, happy accidents, right? Here I'm doing what I refer to as my push and pull method for shading. I use the lasso tool to select areas, holding down the shift key to select multiple areas, then adjust them with the brightness and contrast panel. A tip there, if you darken with the brightness, increase the contrast. If you lighten, decrease the contrast. I know it's more of a technique I managed to cobble together myself, but it's what's worked for me and gives a strong 2D cartoon cell style shading to my art that I really enjoy. And at the end of the day, that's who you need to be making the art for. Always make sure to make a duplicate layer of the art you're working on, in case something goes wonky. As you can see, I find the areas that would make the most sense to be in shadow and carefully lasso those spots. Once captured, I go to the adjustment panel and really just play with it until it looks right. He has a ways to go, but I'm liking the little bugger. On later videos, I plan on drawing some characters that I'll be more storytelling with, but since this is the first one, I figured a more tutorial-style commentary wouldn't hurt, and honestly, I'm just trying to get this thing out there and into the world at this point. Okay, so here, once the shadow areas are all selected, I'm setting the adjustment layer for the darks. I mainly just try to eyeball it. Especially with a more goofy image like this, I don't want to go too dark. This will also change with a character in a setting that may have more extreme lighting, but for this fella, floating in the abyss, it's fine. Same thing here with the highlights. Gotta watch out for going too light, or the character starts to look too plastic, which can work for some cases, but just not what we're going for here. So those darn grays are just not working. To solve that one, I alpha lock the layer so that only the gray line work is affected. Change it to more of a warm brown, and yeah, I think that actually seems to do the trick here. Here I'm just trying to play with the background a little bit so I can get a better sense of how he looks and what's going on with him. I'm trying to combine a couple layers here so I can add a nice white outline that I really like doing for some of these pictures. Gives that kind of cartoon sticker vibe that I don't know, I just enjoy it. I think it's a fun one. Make sure that when you're adding these layers, duplicate anything you need that you might want to go back and reference later, because a lot of these layers, once they're together, they're not coming back apart. So that's just another little hint there, little tip. Alright, and here I'm still just trying to figure out something more fun to do with the background so he's not just floating in the void there. But I do like the circular gradation, kind of gives that kind of Looney Tunes old vibe that I'm kind of leaning into for this. But yeah, I'm still trying to learn. Adobe changed their system and it's getting a little irritating to try to keep up with all their updates. Here I'm just changing some of the adjustments, really trying to get that color nice and vibrant. Like I said, I'm an 80s kid, so I like that good old electric Kool-Aid type of color, or something that really overwhelming and just kind of over the top. Alright, I actually just wanted to keep this part in just to show that, yeah, no one's perfect, and sometimes you just can't figure out what the heck is going on wrong with the picture. I think it's important for people to know that even, professional artists or people who have training in it, they can make mistakes. We have to do problem solving, think on the fly. We got to use our training to figure out why something's not working. What the heck is going on with it, how to rectify it, and yeah, there's plenty of times when you need to change course, and I've had to scrap a whole project before and start over. This right here, just could not figure out how to get rid of this gray area that ended up on this gray-brown area that ended up on some of the areas in the mouth. Eventually did figure out that it was on another layer where I had the grays, and just had to go and just basically erase some of it right out in order to get there. But well, that's what happens sometimes, you learn as you go. And here I'm trying to fix up the face because it just ended up looking too sallow and too dead. It didn't have any life in it. So this actually kind of fixed that. And once I got there, that ended up seeming to kind of bring our little guy to life here. And so yeah, here he is. The ominous spirit of the new year. January's monster of the month and the new year. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's the first one, so a little rocky, but please feel free to share and come back for some more weird art. I'm planning on weekly videos. I'll also be starting a Patreon, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe and all that jazz. Laters.